Hey everyone, and welcome to another episode of The Theorist, here with your host, Vanity Pride. And before we kick off this Tower of God review, I do want to give a shout out to my bestie. We've been best friends since 3rd grade, and she actually was the one to introduce me to Tower of God. So that was roughly around 2013, I believe. And so honestly, if it weren't for her, I would have not gotten into Tower of God. I would have probably never found out about it, or I would have found out about it at some later point in my life. But yeah, I wouldn't have written the one-shots that I did. I wouldn't be doing these reviews, and I also wouldn't be part of the Tower of God project, the dub that's on YouTube. So guys, go check that out. I'll post a link in the video. And then you guys can access my one-shots via another link that I'll post in the description, because it is Danganronpa related, of course. But anyway, to finish the shout out, yes, happy birthday to my best friend. Her birthday was yesterday. So, yeah, I hope she had an awesome time. I would have loved to celebrate with her, but she's on the other side of the country, so can't celebrate in person. So we're gonna do something belated, because she's actually coming for the holidays to spend it with me and my family, and her mom's coming too. So, you know, we'll just kind of belated celebrate her birthday then, and, you know, we'll celebrate mine too, because I'm a Christmas Eve baby. But that's beside the point. So moving on to Danganronpa, I do want to talk about my predictions that I made last week, I guess. So yeah, the killer turned out to be someone else, like I said. So, okay, if you guys don't want to hear the spoilers, I'll give you a second to skip over this, and then I'll start. Okay, so the killer turned out to be Peko Pekoyama, which was so sad because she was also another favorite of mine. So my hero got killed off, she was my favorite, and then Peko was the one to do it, and I'm like, no! Okay, so Peko was trying to, you know, say and insist that she was a tool, that actually Fuyuhiko was the killer. And she did this because she actually serves Fuyuhiko. He's her young master. So, you know, in order to get him off the island, you know, she tried to, even though she was the one to physically kill Mahiru, she wanted to be used as a tool. So then it looks like Fuyuhiko was actually the killer. And because everyone voted for Peko and not Fuyuhiko, then Fuyuhiko could have been set free. He could have been the one, the blackened, and the one to survive and get off the island while everyone else died. And so Peko did it all for him. And oh my gosh, it was just like so hard for me to endure that like final-ish part of the trial, because when Peko was going to receive her punishment, Fuyuhiko tried to step in. So basically, Monokuma, he's just like, nah, Peko, you're human, you're not a tool, so you are the killer and you're gonna get punished. And so yeah, obviously Fuyuhiko wasn't gonna be set free. And so Fuyuhiko, like, he was also upset a little bit with Peko, because he's like, dude, no, like, you're more than a tool. Like, you mean more to me than that. And it was just so crushing. Like, I've never cried at a video game before, and friggin' Danganronpa 2 just, like, broke my heart during that part. Like, you know, it's just, like, back and forth of Fuyuhiko being, like, you know, telling Peko that she means more to him than just being a tool and his servant, basically. And, you know, Monokuma's like, oh, we're gonna give it everything we've got, it's punishment time, you know, and his, like, sweet, sing-songy, morbid voice. So it was, like, so hard, and then he, like, jumps in to, like, get killed with Peko, and I was like, no, I've lost my baby! And it was just so sad, and I just was done. Like, I saw that video, I think, Friday night, or maybe it was Saturday night, and I was just done. I was like, nope, I can't do this anymore. Like, they killed off my baby. Like, I just need a long-ass break from Danganronpa 2. But then come today, I, like, braved it up, and I was like, no, I'm gonna see what happens. And Fuyuhiko was alive, and I was like, oh my gosh, my baby is spared. So, just to make it short, I am so ready for him to be in the surviving group and be able to avenge Peko's death somehow. And then, quick notes from here. I had suspected that Nagito was going to be the traitor, which we don't know who the traitor is yet. It hasn't been revealed yet, obviously, from the point that I've reached, because I just breached into, like, chapter 3, the start of it. So I still have a ways to go. But the way it started off, I started to suspect of Hiyoko, being the one who's either the traitor or the next Junko, you know? Because if it was Nagito, like, it's too easy because a lot of characters think that it is Nagito, so their thoughts are kind of swaying in that direction. But I'm like, no. That's, like, too simple, so it's gotta be, like, someone else, and I'm kind of betting it's Hiyoko, so we'll see what happens. Especially because of, like I said, what she did at the beginning of Chapter 3. But anyway, in response to Darien Donaldson, he had left a comment on my last video asking what Danganronpa was all about. So here's my response to you, my dude. Danganronpa is about high school students, prestigious high school students, attending a prestigious academy who end up getting locked in there and forced to participate in a killing game. So, you know, basically, if you saw, like, all these, or heard and saw, I guess, all these spoilers that I was talking about just a moment ago, it's stuff like that. And so there's, like, twists and turns, and, of course, like, murder mysteries, and trials, and, you know, investigating the crime scenes and all that. So if you're into that, like, I would definitely suggest either playing the game. I haven't played it myself, so I do not know that experience just yet, but, you know, maybe on my Christmas wish list / birthday wish list, you know, I'll kind of throw that in there, be like, hey, mom and dad, get me this. But anyway, the playthroughs are pretty fun to watch, too. I highly recommend Berleezy. He's my favorite YouTuber, and his playthrough of Danganronpa 1 is amazing, and eventually, hopefully, he'll get to Danganronpa 2 once he completes the first one. If you do check it out, Darien, let me know what you think of it, because I'd love to hear that. Alright, so enough of Danganronpa. We'll jump right into Tower of God now. So we're looking at Chapter 322, which is the 44th floor, last station, part 7. And I'm just going to kind of highlight some things, because I do have to, like, run home and, like, keep typing up my one-shots. So speaking of one-shot, I did write the first Negami one this past weekend. So that link will be in the description below. And yeah, I'm working on the second one. So it's just like, I need to, like, cram that in somehow. So I'm trying to keep this video as short as I can, even though I keep blabbing away. I'm sorry, guys. All right, so girl at the beginning kind of reminded me of, like, a femme byakuya. So the girl I'm talking about is Ari Bright Sharon, Division Commander number 1. I mean, it's like the hair color is pretty similar. She's got the blue eyes, just like Byakuya. I'm like, girl, I love you already, just because of that. So super random. And then we go to Shionhee revealing to Yuri, like, who all they gathered up to come and capture these regulars. So I'm going to read a little bit of that. Because Yuri's all shocked here, like, Division number 1? What are they talking about, Shionhee? You mean your troops weren't the only ones deployed in this operation? And then Shionhee's like, I forgot to mention this, princess. This operation involves not only divisions, but also squadrons. 3 of the 4 squadrons are assembling here, and Squadron Commander Caliban himself is supposed to come here for this operation. And then Evan's like, what? You've got to be kidding me. So at that point, when Evan reacted, I was like, yep, you know, they are choosing to follow that order of Zahards, because they had 3 options, right? They had Gustang, Foog, or the regulars on the Hell Train. They chose the regulars. And so when I thought about that, I was like, dude, like, it makes it seem like they're choosing the one. And of course, there are some Foog members involved, like Karaka and White, but it's not all of Foog. But I guess you could kind of tie that in there, kind of killing 2 birds with 1 stone, somewhat. I don't know. But I was thinking, I'm like, dude, what if, you know, some other people from Zahar's army are going after Gustang or going after Foog? And we don't know that because, you know, right now the story's just kind of centered in on the Hell Train. Or if it's possible that once they're done capturing the regulars and whatever, then they will move on to going for Gustang and Foog. So there are endless possibilities. I mean, this story, kind of like Danganronpa, has twists and turns to it, right? So I wouldn't be surprised if they suddenly wanted to follow all 3 orders, even though they only had to go with one option. But we'll see what happens. All right, so then going over to Levi, Baum, and Soyoung, Levi asks Baum a question. And so then Soyoung's like, warning Baum, like, hey, like, be careful, like, because when he asks you a question, you know, you start feeling this choking sensation. And, Bomb's just like, chill, right? And she's like, are you sure you're okay? Like, you're not feeling anything funky? And Bomb's like, no. And so then Levi is just like, wait, like, why is my attack not working? And let me just say, I called this shit, because I was like, I bet you that attack is not going to work on Bomb, no matter how hard Levi tries. And like I was saying also, we're bound to see another attack of Levi's, which we did get to see. So I was super excited about that. But I mean, we could have seen that coming, like Bomb wasn't going to succumb so easily to an attack like that. But as to why it wasn't working, who knows? Like Levi, that was mostly his confusion, is like, oh, who is this dude? Like, why is this not working on him? But anyway, when Levi kept having those thoughts of like, why is this not working? Why is this not working? It almost reminded me a little bit of Byakuya in my one shot, because Byakuya is getting turned down by Makoto several times, and so it's starting to like irritate Byakuya. So I was like, oh hey, there's kind of like a parallel between this chapter and the one shot I just released. So I thought that was kind of cool. Super random, I know. But anyway, this battle that I was awaiting didn't last very long, because so Levi throws this Deathly Blizzard attack on Bomb. And here, let me explain what that does real quick. Okay, and here's what he says. This is another spell of mine, Deathly Blizzard. It corrupts the soul of whoever it touches and makes them end their own life. So then Bomb, in return, does a reverse flow control, but Levi stops it with Hair. It's the spell called Hair of an Ancient Saint. And, Levi's just all like, oh, I shouldn't have underestimated you. And then he's like, you're totally different. And then he ends up leaving because Bomb's companions show up. And so, yeah, like I said, it didn't last very long. And I was like, no. Like, I would have loved for it to last longer. But, especially with Levi being like, oh, I await the next time we meet, they're bound to have like a showdown at some point later on. This was just an introduction for them to each other, I guess. So anyway, people are calling out like Bomb's name, but So Young's name is getting shouted out like several times as well. So I was like, wait, like what the heck? I'm like, why are they calling out her name? Like, who all knows her? Like, who all on Bomb's team knew her in advance to be like, So Young, So Young? And then I was like, wait. There's that team of people who were willing to help out Bomb and his group. So I was like, oh, okay, well, obviously those people are familiar with So Young. But among that group was also So Young's brother, Soa. And I'm just like, okay, what the fuck is this dude doing here? Because he's the first one to show up alongside Andrasi as they're shouting out Bomb and So Young's names. And of course, Andrasi kicks Bomb in the head, which cracked me up a little bit. And then, Soa shows up to where his sister is. And I'm like, dude, like, what made you change your mind? Like, are you being truthful? Are you being genuine? Because I'm really doubting that right now. I need explanations. So I need SIU to, like, provide some kind of flashback at some point as to why Soa changed his mind. Because it just came out of the blue. Because, I mean, Soa was being a dick toward his sister, siding with the dad. And I had my theories previously of, like, the brother, like, maybe killing off his dad and taking full control of the train. He might still do that, and maybe he's siding with, okay, new theory. So maybe he was, like, defying his sister just so he was on the dad's good side, and then eventually, he'll, like, kill off the dad or something, and then take control of the Hell Train again and be like, oh, hey, we're gonna run things the way my dad used to run this, before he went all crazy and dumbass, So we'll touch base on that Shia-woon dude in a little bit. For now, we do go back to Levi. I don't know where he ended up getting himself to, but something's clearly wrong with him. Like, he's starting to feel pain. So I was like, what did Bomb do to him, As his attack implied, Bomb's attack, because it has reverse in the title, right? So I'm like, I wonder if he was able to reverse a bit of the Deathly Blizzard on Levi, and so that's what is affecting Levi in a sense. So even though he thought that he managed to block it off completely, it didn't work. Or maybe Levi knew, and that's why he left abruptly, because he's like, oh, well, I don't want to keep facing off against this kid and then, have the Deathly Blizzard be, used against me, like the owner of that attack, right? Because that'd be kind of silly. So, yeah, but I'm curious to know what's going on with Levi and what's bound to happen to him. So hopefully next chapter we find out. But yeah, speaking of Shia-woon, this dumbass, he makes a video announcement. And I'm just like, is this dude being, like, mind controlled or something? Because he was so dead set on creating this, like, safe haven for regulars. And now he's just completely defying it. Like, he threw it out the window once Zahard's army showed up. I mean, he could have been like, oh, hey, I'm not going to do that. But I guess he can't really defy Zahard's orders either, even though, like I said, he created this safe haven for the station. So I had a few theories on that, because I was thinking, okay, what if he's just going along with the orders, but then in the end he'll rebel and strike? But then I also thought that this fool's gonna die. Like, I have such a feeling that he's gonna die. Whether he ends up turning into a good guy, like I said, rebelling, or if he just, stays a bad guy. I don't know. Because I was thinking also that maybe he thought his life was going to be spared if he went along with what the army was asking him to do. But then in the end, he's just going to be killed off anyway. So it's like, either way, I feel he's going to die. But, who knows in the end what side he'll really be on. Like, will he really still be siding with Zahard's army, or will he go back to his ways of, how he envisioned the station being, and again, like that safe haven that he always wanted to build for regulars? Like, is he going to, turn back to that belief? Because it's just like, I feel the way he was explained or described several chapters ago, it's like he really wanted to create a safe place for the regulars. And, for him to just throw it out the window, it's just like so weird. That's why I'm like, he's mind controlled or something, or I don't know what this guy's up to, but we'll see what happens. So anyway, he says here, our station will not accept you since you broke the laws of the tower and seized control of the train illegally. Get out of the station immediately. And then he plays a video from the Royal Army. And of course, it is El Pathion making the announcement here. So he says, greetings, all regulars who seized control of the Hell Train. My name is El Pathion. I'm a high ranker as well as the 4th Assistant Squadron Commander of Lord Zahard's army. You committed a serious crime by taking over the Hell Train and traveling all over this tower. Come out of the station and surrender immediately. Otherwise, starting in an hour from now, we will execute your companions one at a time. And so that's when they are revealed images of Boro and Sachi in the nap pod cells. And so, of course, it is, nothing new. I mean, we kind of saw this coming, but Baum is dead set on saving his friends no matter what. All right, and then we finally reach the last scene, which is with, oh shoot, I just closed out of my notes, which is with Evankel and Hansung. And so the administrator had sent them to Karaka? Like they're inside Karaka, if I understood that correctly and read that correctly. And I mean, the reason why I think that too is because they mentioned Karaka's heart, like you can see it, and then they also entered through some warp gate and are able to see like visions that Karaka saw. So we'll get to that in a little bit. But anyway, back to the warp gate thing. So according to Karaka's minion, Deathbird is the minion's name, he says that Karaka will open up like a warp gate to alert that he's in some kind of danger. And so then, like I said, Evankel and Hansung, they're seeing these images of Zahard's warships and then some rankers. So my thought is, okay, there's two possibilities with this. Either they're kind of seeing memories through Karaka, or they were able to see that like in real time. So like before Karaka was imprisoned. So I'm wondering if there is kind of that real-time effect to it. If not, they are looking at memories and whatnot. And then the end image, let me tell you, is like super cool. You know, Evankel's leading the way, and she's just like, it's been a long time since I got to shed blood in battle. So I wonder how that's going to work. Like, they're just going to emerge out of Karaka, or, you know, I guess we'll see what happens with that. But speaking of this end image that was super epic, there are these great comments that I saw on the Webtoons website. So this is X saying X. Why does the last panel look like they're about to drop the hottest track of 2018? It's true. It looks so, like, so albumy. It's beautiful. Like, I wish they would drop a track. It'd be really cool. And then here's another comment, LR430. If the administrator sent Evankel and Hansung to the last station portal to help bomb, does that mean the administrators also don't like Zahard? Which is a very good observation. I mean, like I've said numerous times, Zahard is corrupt. I'm sure a lot of people see that, and so they're kind of willing to defy Zahard in some way. So, yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if the administrator who sent Evankel and Hansung to Karaka's body is, opposed to Zahard and whatnot. But yeah, that is pretty much... Sorry, a message. Okay. So that is pretty much it. So, just recapping my theories, I did talk about Zahard's army and people following Zahard's orders. I wonder if they will end up following all three, or if they really are just focused on the regulars. And then Xiao Wung, what are his intentions really? Is he really siding with Zahard's army, or is he eventually going to defy them, So I'm curious about that. Oh, same with Soa. Same with So Young's brother, of course, Soa's Xiao Wun's son. Is he really genuinely wanting to help out his sister, or is there something up his sleeve? So, yeah, that's pretty much it, guys. Thank you so much for tuning in. I couldn't find the blog notes, so I'm not doing them this week. But hopefully next week we'll get those. So, anyway, hope you guys have a great week, and I'll catch you next time. Peace.